India, a kaleidoscope of cultures. Her people and their culture are rich, diverse, and vibrant. Her cultural vastness changes every colorful mile, creating myriad marvels. Despite the complex fabric of her diverse communities, India is unified by one common thread: agriculture, the primeval occupation of this ancient land.
When I entered into agriculture, my aim was to see what crops that I could combine with the traditional ones, therefore to increase your income from a unit area of land. And in my search for various crops, be it cocoa, nutmeg and other spices, etc., I came across vanilla. Once I realized that vanilla would thrive very well in the conditions in South India, I started to spend my first decade between early 90s to late 90s into trying to see what one could do to increase the productivity, and you do it as a multi-cropping system in our country. Over a 10-year period, by 2007 and 8, India was producing close to 400 tons of cured vanilla. I don't think that the history of any other country have gone from 0 to 400 in 10 years.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಭಾವೇರಪ್ಪ. ನಮ್ಮೂರು ತೋಳ್ಸುತ್ತಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ, ಸೋಮರಪೇಟೆ ತಾಲೂಕು. ನಾನು ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 10 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ ವೆನಿಲನ. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು 2 ಎಕರೆ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡಿಕೆ, ವೆನಿಲಾ, ಉಂಡೆ, ಕರಿಮೆಣಸು, ಬಾಳೆ, ಕಾಫಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮಿಶ್ರ ಬೇಸಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ್. ನಾನು ಈಗ 10-15 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸವಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರದ ಕೃಷಿಗಳಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಅಡಿಕೆ ಇದೆ, ಕೊಕ್ಕೋ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಫಿ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಲಕ್ಕಿ ಇದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವೆನಿಲಾವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Having cultivated, produced, but not having a supply chain that would take their produce and keep this sustainable. That was where the farmers felt let down.
My name is Apana. I am from Cook. I have my coffee estate in 2 places. About 15 years back, I thought of growing vanilla because of the attractive price. I tried to really do a good cultivation. I put irrigation system, everything. But unfortunately, when the crop came, the prices fell down and I had to neglect it.
Indian farmers did not leave vanilla. Buyers left India from their objective of purchasing vanilla in India. That led me to think what I could do personally to make sure that this is sustainable. And that was the reason for me founding individually an organization which I called Indian Vanilla Initiative, IVI. The role of IVI is, number one, to ensure that the farmer has his produce taken from him, to ensure that the best agricultural practices are followed by the farmer with respect to environment. A lot of importance to organic farming, ensuring that this whole chain is documented, and of course, ensuring that there's a change in the livelihood of so many small farmers in our country. So we founded IVI, and with the aim that we should execute all this and perhaps as a phase 1, look at planting 1 million vines. To start off, to produce, what is important is good parent material, and therefore our nursery plays a vital role. Our nursery currently has a capacity to produce 400,000 vines per year. The saplings are nurtured for 16 weeks at our central nursery in Pollachi, and they are delivered to the farmer. The IVI team, which consists of 24 field officers now and growing, follows every step with the farmer, from irrigation techniques, the apt usage of crop inputs, multi-crop farming, hand pollination of the flowers. So all this is done and recorded, We've developed our own software which we call AgriTrack Vanilla. It's an important tool to monitor health and productivity of the farms individually, and also we at IVI assist the farmers in getting be it sustainability certifications such as Rainforest Alliance, or in the case of 100% organic farmers to have organic certifications.
மகேந்திரன் சார் வந்து மீட்டிங்கில் எங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக சொல்லிட்டாரு. அதாவது நாங்கள் எக்ரிமெண்ட் போட்டுக்குவோம், அதாவது விலை வந்து உங்களுக்கு வீழ்ச்சி அடைஞ்சாலும் நாங்கள் குறைந்தபட்சம் ஒரு அமௌண்ட்டை ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிடுவோம்.
நீங்கள் வந்து வேறு இது வியாபாரி தேடி போக வேண்டாம், நாங்களே நாற்று கொடுத்து நாங்களே வந்து காயெல்லாம் வந்து எடுத்துக்கிறோம்.
ஃபீல்டு ஆஃபீஸர்கள் அனுப்பி அவங்க எங்களுக்கு எப்படி செய்கிறது என்ன பண்ணுறதுங்கிற மெத்தடெல்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுத்தாங்க.
டவுட்டெல்லாம் ஏதாச்சும் கேட்டால் வந்து நாங்கள் செடி பற்றியெல்லாம் அவர் கேட்குறோமில்ல, விபினெல்லாம் வந்து சொல்லி தருவா.
கரெக்டாக பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கிற செடி நல்லா இருக்குது.
I'm very happy with Indian Vanilla Company. They're representative for all the guidelines for getting the plants and the cultivation methods, everything. They are good. And more than anything, the money part of it is most important. And they are good in offering the best prices and putting the money in our bank account the very next day.
നമുക്ക് കമ്പനിയുടെ അടിസ്ഥാന വില നൽകും എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഉറപ്പോടെയാണ് നമ്മളിത് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിന് വേണ്ട റെഗ്യുമെൻറ്റും കാര്യങ്ങളും കമ്പനി തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്തു തരുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു വിശ്വാസത്തിലാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും പേരെ 40 കൃഷിക്കാരെ നമ്മളിത് ചെയ്യിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്.
இப்போ நாங்கள் பண்ணுறது பார்த்து பரவாயில்ல, உங்களை பார்த்து நாங்கள் கற்றுக்கொள்ள மாட்டேக்குதுன்னு கூட சார் சொல்லிட்டு போனார். என்ன நல்லா பண்ணுறீங்க அப்படின்னு, அது வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு ஊக்கம் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி தானே.
Having founded IVI with this huge vision or dream which looked very difficult and distant, but I would say third year now into it, it is no more a dream, but we can see the reality. We have close to 1,050 farmers who signed up with us. We have planted close to 1/3 of a million of vines that we wanted to plant. And the production, there is no doubt now about the difference in quality between what we produce, be it the green vanilla especially, because you have objective evidence where you can measure parameters like glucovanillin and things. And when you compare this with countries that have been producing vanilla for a century or more, I think now I can proudly say with proof that we perhaps produce the best vanilla in the world. All the vanilla that IVI produces goes to our parent organization called Expovan, which has the arduous task of processing this vanilla to produce the best quality of the finished product, which is your cured vanilla beans. Expovan currently works with the open market to source from wherever is possible. Already with what we've seen as results from IVI vanilla this year, we will grow into a company that has 90% of its production traceable back to our own farms. The key to being able to achieve this quality, of course, depends on people. So working with the people in the farm, the people of our organization who work with the farmers there, and the people in Expovan. We have here a workforce which is almost 90% women and almost all from the villages surrounding. We take a lot of pride in saying that we have almost no worker attrition. That's because it all depends on ensuring that they have a happy environment, taking care of all their social needs. In vanilla processing, the human element plays a big role. We also have a saying that the vanilla has to pass through the human hand 100 times before it's ready to be used. When any batch of vanilla is ready for use, be it exported, they put the vanilla through a lot of testing, meaning testing for vanillin, moisture, aroma, and also to be compliant with minimum residual levels to ensure that there are no pesticides, residues in it. So these go through a lot of testing with some of the best labs in the world. We ensure that they meet all the compliances that are necessary for food safety. We have food safety certification with PRC, ISO 22000, organic production line. But another key certification is what we have is the SEDEX certification, wherein we want to comply and be beyond compliance in ensuring that our workers have all their needs met. The processing of vanilla is an art by itself. Learning from tradition, learning from the science that has come into vanilla processing the last 2 decades, And then finally, our own experience of 2 decades, I think we have a good hold on producing vanilla of the highest quality. But we know that with the vanilla that comes from IVI, the finished quality is a benchmark because it's way above what is there anywhere else in the world. To summarize what we are doing in vanilla through our entities, IVI, that's the Indian Vanilla Initiative, and Expovan, is not just about producing the best quality of vanilla, but to produce it in sustainable methods. In IVI, it's about working with the farmers to tell them about environment, to talk to them about minimizing or trying to avoid the use of pesticides, to increase organic inputs, to conserve water by giving them technology to avoid flood irrigation and switch them over to drip and sprinkler irrigations. So those are some of the primary things that we do in IVI. When we come to Expovan, is also to work here with the local communities. For example, we work with the schools here that are in the surrounding villages, talk about hygiene in the villages around to ensure that our workers have all the benefits of social security, health insurance, transport systems. So sustainability is the key. Better productivity, better environment, better workforce, better farmers. That's the key to long-term growth. That's what we do in both IVI and Expovan.
The reason we started Goodness Vanilla was to introduce natural vanilla to the Indian market. As we have contracted with more than 1,000 farmers, we wanted to make sure that the Indian market can also avail the natural vanilla and it's easily accessible to them. It's from our deep conviction that we want to make natural vanilla affordable for the Indian consumer.
We think the Indian consumer deserves to have the best vanilla in the world, and they are mostly having to consume either artificial or so-called nature identical vanillin and not natural vanilla. So we work a lot in creating an awareness about natural vanilla to the Indian.
For the retail market in India, Goodness Vanilla is available in 2 different forms. One is in the pod form and the other is in the extract form. The versatility of vanilla is that it can be used in any form of dessert, be it the traditional Indian sweets or the more westernized desserts like creme brulees and cupcakes.
Being a pastry chef, I think vanilla is one of the most important ingredients that I personally use in the kitchen. And when we talk about vanilla, for me, it has to be nothing but the best. I visited the Goodness Vanilla company for their vanilla beans, and it is there that I found the best vanilla beans of the region. Their vanilla is very warm in its flavor. It has a very creamy sort of round flavor to it, and all this comes because it is fresh and natural, and it's coming from the most experienced vanilla makers in the country. This is what gives me a lot of joy in cooking, because when you're doing a really good dessert, you know that there's so much of good ingredients that go into it, and I have a lot of satisfaction and I use the best.
The Vanilla Initiative is the story of re-establishing the harmony and restoring the balance that the Indian farmer once had with nature. It does so by restoring pride and uplifting living standards to the hard-working, fast-adapting, prudent Indian farmer with a precious conventional wisdom and a proud sense of belonging. All the while offering the world market with flavors of vanilla in its most natural form, and to the Indian consumer at an affordable price. The Indian vanilla, the vine of all good things, is truly on the rise.